Have you ever found yourself wondering if someone is interested in you but not quite sure? Well, sometimes the signs are there, but we just don't notice. People often don't like to be obvious when they're attracted to someone. They have their subtle ways, and if you pay close attention, you'll start to notice the signs. Today, I'm going to share 10 secret signs that someone is attracted to you, without you even realizing it. So stick around because, after this video, you might discover that someone close to you has feelings you never imagined. Let's start with a sign that's so subtle but so powerful that it often goes unnoticed. Prolonged and repeated eye contact. You know that feeling when you sense someone is looking at you, but when you turn your head, they quickly look away. Well, that's one of the classic signs of attraction. When we're interested in someone, our eyes tend to focus on them, as if magnetically drawn. Prolonged eye contact is almost a non-verbal way of saying, "I'm interested in you." But of course, no one's going to stare at you non-stop, right? Here's what happens. The person will look at you, hold your gaze for a moment, and when you notice, they'll look away, trying not to seem too obvious. The key here is repetition. If you notice this person frequently looking at you and the gaze is more intense than usual, there's a good chance they're interested. In psychology, this is called prolonged gaze, and many studies show that frequent eye contact can be one of the first signs of attraction. And more. When we're attracted to someone, our pupils dilate. So, if you have good vision, you can try to spot that too. Leaning toward you. Imagine this. You're talking to someone, and little by little, that person starts leaning their body toward you, as if trying to reduce the distance between the two of you. This is an unconscious sign of interest. The body speaks, even when the person doesn't want to clearly show what they're feeling. In fact, our body language can reveal more than words. When someone is interested in you, their body can give small clues. Their feet might be pointing toward you, they might lean their torso in, or even try to get closer, reducing physical distance. This happens because, unconsciously, the person wants to be near you, even if they're not aware of it. Pay attention next time you're talking to someone and see if that person is constantly leaning toward you. Subtle imitation. Have you ever noticed that when we like someone, we start imitating them without even realizing it? This phenomenon is known as mimicry. If you move, the person moves. If you cross your arms, they cross their arms. It may seem silly, but this happens because our brain tends to mimic the behavior of people we're interested in. This mimicry is an unconscious way of creating a connection. It's as if, by imitating your gestures and posture, the person is trying to say, "Look, we're similar," or, "I feel comfortable around you." It creates a sense of harmony and closeness. And more. Studies show that people tend to like others who mimic their gestures. So, the next time you notice someone repeating your movements, stay alert. Frequent and genuine smiling. Everyone smiles from time to time, but when someone is attracted to you, the smile appears more often. And it's not just any smile. It's that genuine smile that involves the eyes, cheeks, the kind that makes the person look lighter and happier just by being around you. Additionally, there's this little detail. A real smile takes a bit longer to fade. So, if you're talking to someone and notice that their smile is constant, long-lasting, and comes with a brighter gaze, it's a strong indicator of attraction. The person simply can't hide how happy they're to be near you. The famous silly smile, you know? Casual but meaningful touches. One of the most classic signs, though often unnoticed, is touch. Of course, I'm not talking about anything invasive or forced, but about subtle and casual touches, like when the person touches your arm during a conversation or places their hand on your back when saying goodbye. These small gestures are ways of creating a physical connection and are often done unconsciously. The truth is, touch releases oxytocin, the bonding hormone, which increases feelings of closeness and affection. If the person finds subtle ways to touch you, whether to grab something you're holding or while making a joke, they may be trying to build that closer connection. Genuine interest in your life. When someone is interested in you, they want to know more about your life, your hobbies, your interests, your problems. Basically, everything that involves you. And more. They'll remember these things. You know when you mention you have an important meeting, and days later, the person asks how it went. Or when you talk about a movie you want to watch, and they immediately suggest watching it together. This type of interest shows that the person is paying attention and cares about you. This behavior reveals more than just superficial interest. The person wants to understand who you really are, what moves you, and what makes you happy. This is one of the clearest signs that they're attracted, not just physically, but emotionally too. Attempts to make you laugh. Have you ever noticed that when we're attracted to someone, we want to see them happy? And what better way to do that than with a good joke or funny comment? If the person makes a point of making you laugh and closely watches your reaction, you can be sure there's some interest there. Humor is one of the most common ways to create a connection and lighten the mood. Plus, laughing together creates a sense of bonding and comfort. And here's what's interesting. Studies show that shared laughter is one of the most powerful ways to create an emotional connection. When we laugh with someone, we feel more connected and at ease. So, if the person is constantly trying to make you laugh, it's very likely they're interested in creating that bond. Change in tone of voice. You might not have noticed this before, but a person's tone of voice changes when they're interested. Most of the time, the voice becomes softer, warmer, as if the person is trying to create a more intimate atmosphere. This happens unconsciously. When we're talking to someone we like, our body tends to soften the tone, as if creating a safe space for the conversation. Moreover, research shows that men and women modulate their voices differently when attracted to someone. Women tend to speak with a slightly higher pitch, while men soften and lower their tone, creating a more intimate atmosphere. So, if the person changes the way they speak when talking to you, pay attention. Nervousness or sudden shyness. Have you noticed that sometimes a person who is usually very outgoing and confident might become a bit nervous or shy around you? Well, that can be a clear sign of attraction. When we're interested in someone, especially if we're unsure how the other person feels, nervousness can show up. The person might start fidgeting with their hands, playing with their hair, avoiding eye contact, or not knowing what to say. All these are signs that being around someone we're attracted to can make us feel so unsure that we don't know how to act. It's that typical butterflies in the stomach feeling. Frequent acts of kindness. Last but not least, when someone is interested in you, they'll want to help and be present. They'll offer to do favors, like grabbing something for you, solving a problem, or even accompanying you to an appointment. These small acts of kindness are ways of showing they care about your well-being and want to be around you. It's a way of showing interest without saying it directly. And trust me, these gestures speak louder than words. The person wants to see you well and, even unconsciously, is trying to show that they are available and reliable. Now that you know these 10 signs, stay alert. Sometimes, we think no one's interested, but the signs are all there, hidden between the lines. Noticing these small details could be the key to understanding better who's around you, and who knows, it might even help you take the first step in something you never expected. If you're committed to your personal development and want to keep evolving and leveling up, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Here, I always bring practical and powerful content to help you keep growing. And if this video helped you in any way, make sure to leave a like so that more people can be impacted as well. In the description, you'll find links to books that I've carefully selected, works that can completely transform the way you think and act. It's definitely worth checking out. And don't leave just yet. Take a look at the suggested videos here on the screen. They will help you even more on your personal development journey. See you there.